Hi, I'm Sarish Sudhakaran, and in this video, I'm going to show you how much you can really stretch shutter speeds when you're shooting video. Now, before you watch this video, please watch my earlier video on what's a shutter speed and what is the best shutter speed for cinematic video, because I'm assuming you have seen that video. In this video, I will show you how I've broken the rules and still got acceptable results. First, let me explain why I had to break the rules. I was shooting with this small CCTV lens from Photoseat, the 25mm f1.4. So I was mostly shooting at 1.4 or at f2 maximum during the day. When you stop down the Photoseat lens, it starts to vignette. So you cannot stop down below, I think, f4 or so. So what this means is during the day, you can't get good exposure without using an ND filter if you're stuck to a 1/50th shutter speed. Now, the thing is, the small Photoseat lens doesn't have an ND filter system that I know of. There's no thread. There's no way to mount an ND filter on that, or at least I don't have those resources. So the only way I could get proper exposure was to shoot at different shutter speeds. Before you get any ideas, this could only work because it was daylight. With artificial lighting, like LEDs or fluorescent lights, things can get ugly pretty fast. Now in this video, I did use different shutter speeds even in interiors as well, and we'll look at that in a bit. When you speed up the shutter, it causes a different kind of motion rendition because the motion blur changes. It looks different. So one technique that you can do is to smooth out the video. You can drop the final footage into Adobe After Effects and add motion blur. Now Adobe recommends that you use frame blending instead of motion blur, and there are two types of frame blending. There's frame mix and there's pixel motion, and they recommend pixel motion for the most realistic shots. You can experiment with whatever you like, and it'll give you a more closer approximation to the cinematic motion blur, but it will not replace the real thing. You need to shoot with the proper shutter speed to get the exact same motion blur as cinema. And the cool thing is, I've already published the video yesterday, and I don't think anybody noticed any problems. You can check out the video yourself. I've linked to it. If you can find some issues, please tell me exactly which shots you think were shot at a higher shutter speed. I used shutter speeds from 1/50th all the way to 1/2000 in some shots. Even I can't remember which shots I used which shutter speeds in. So now when you look at artificial lighting, what happens is if you use shutter speeds that are mismatched to the electrical frequency of the lights, then you will have a pulsating motion. Sometimes you get a flicker across the screen going from top to bottom or bottom to top. It's very hard to detect sometimes on the back LCD of the camera. You can see in the short film that I made, there are instances where the light pulsates and flickers. Now, it's not always a bad thing. Some young, impressionable minds might start to think that's unacceptable. For you, please take a look at these clips from a recent episode from Better Call Saul, and you can see it actually lends a certain cinematic mood to your footage. Whether you like it or not is up to you. If you don't like it, then try not to vary your shutter speed when you're shooting with artificial lights. I hope this quick video helps you understand that you don't have to be married to the shutter speed. It should be 1/2 the frame rate formula, as I've explained in the earlier video. You can break the rule sometimes as long as you understand when you can do it and when you can't. Now in this case, I was only breaking the rule mostly when it was daytime and I was strictly lighting with daylight. The subject was not in motion. The camera was not moving around a lot. There were no objects in the frame like falling water or snow or rain that was moving across the frame. Those things will be a dead giveaway that you have sped up the shutter. But even in that case, you can try to use Adobe After Effects to add some motion blur back into your footage, and most people really might not notice. So you can get away with a lot if you know exactly when to increase the shutter speed and when you can't. Decreasing is obviously a more distracting effect. But I hope you found this video useful. Bye now.